We're going to simplify 18 divided by 2 plus 4 minus 6, subtracting the square root of 49. We'll begin by doing the parentheses inside the brackets. That gives us 18 divided by 2 plus a negative 2 minus the square root of 49. Staying inside the brackets, we'll do our division next. 18 divided by 2 is 9, and that gives us 9 plus negative 2 minus the square root of 49. Staying inside our brackets, we have 9 plus a negative 2, which is 7, minus the square root of 49. Now we'll find the square root of 49, which is 7, and 7 minus 7 is 0. So our answer is 0. We're going to simplify 5 squared plus 3 times negative 12 over 36 divided by 2 minus 18. We'll start by getting rid of our exponent in the numerator, and that gives us 25 plus 3 times negative 12 over. In the denominator, we'll say 36 divided by 2 is 18. In the numerator, 3 times negative 12 is negative 36. (25) minus 36 is negative 11 over 0, and anything divided by 0 is undefined. We're going to simplify negative 7 squared plus 11 over negative 2 times 5 plus the square root of 64. We'll begin with our numerator by finding the square of negative 7, which is 49. And in the denominator, we'll find the square root of 64, which is 8. We'll leave the numerator as it is for a second and concentrate on the denominator. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. Now we'll simplify our addition and subtraction. 49 plus 11 is 60 over negative 10 plus 8 is negative 2, and 60 divided by negative 2 is negative 30. So our answer is negative 30. Allison's initial credit card balance was a negative $487. She has made the following transactions, and what is her new balance? Well, you can see from the graphic that we have her initial balance of negative $487. Then we added in the negative $76 from the clothing boutique and her payment of $125, and then subtracted out her finance charges of $14. When we group the negatives together, our negative 487, negative 76, negative 14 will give us a negative 577. We'll add that to the $125 payment. That'll give us a negative 452. In other words, Allison's balance is a negative $452. During a very difficult month, Natasha overdrafted her account 5 times. Each overdraft charge appears as a negative $14 on her statement. What were the total overdraft charges that month? We're going to start by understanding that since Natasha is being charged the same amount each time she overdrafts 5 times, we are repeatedly adding the same amount. Repeated addition means that we can multiply. Our plan is to multiply the overdraft amount by 5. And as you can see here, we have 5 overdrafts at negative $14 an overdraft. Gives us a negative $70. So her total overdraft charges were negative $70 for that month. Now to check this, we can reverse the process by saying the total overdraft charges, which were negative 70, divided by the number of overdraft charges, which was 5, should equal the amount per charge, which is $14. That does in fact work, so that tells us that our answer of negative $70 is in fact correct. Howard put $12,000 down when he bought a Cooper Mini. He made 55 payments of $89 and spent $347 on maintenance and repair. 3 years later, he sold the car for $15,500. What is his net? Is it a profit or a loss? Well, we need to calculate the net, and to do that, we need the total cost and total revenue. The formula for net is N equals R minus C. Howard's total revenue is the amount that he sold the car for, which was given to be $15,500. Howard's total cost is the sum of the money he spent on the car. So our plan is to calculate the total cost, then to subtract the cost from the total revenue to get the net. Now you'll see that I've got the cost is equal to the amount down, plus the payments that he made, plus the maintenance cost. And I've started filling in our information here. His amount down was $12,000. He made 55 payments of $89 each, and his maintenance was $347. This gives us $12,000 plus $4,895 plus $347, or a total of $17,242. Now the net is the revenue minus the cost. In this case, we have a revenue of $15,500 minus the cost of $17,242. That's our net. So our net is equal to a negative $1,742, or in other words, a loss of $1,742. For the check, we're going to reverse the process. The net, negative $1,742, added to the cost, $17,242, should equal the $15,500 revenue, and in fact it does. So that check works. Our cost minus the maintenance cost minus the payments should equal the down payment. The cost was $17,242 minus the maintenance cost of $347 minus the payments of $4,895 does in fact equal the down payment of $12,000. So that also checks. Our payments divided by our total payments divided by the number of payments should equal the amount of a payment. And so the $4,895 divided by the number of payments, 55, does in fact equal the $89 amount of payment. So that also checks. And so that tells us that our answer, which was a loss of $1,742, is in fact correct. The current in the circuit measures negative 8 amps. If the resistance is 12 ohms, find the voltage. We must calculate the voltage given the resistance and the current. The formula that relates voltage, resistance, and current is V equals IR. Our plan is to replace I with negative 8 and R with 12 in this formula, and then multiply. So we'll do that. We'll have negative 8 times 12, and so voltage equals negative 96 volts, or negative 96 V. Now we'll check this by reversing the process. We'll divide the voltage, negative 96, by the current, which is negative 8, and that should equal the resistance, which is 12, and it does. So that tells us that our answer of negative 96 volts is correct. LaShonda drives an average rate of 62 miles per hour. How far will she travel in 2 hours? We need to understand that we are asked to find the distance traveled given the average rate and time. The formula which related average rate, time, and distance is D equals RT. We're going to plan to replace R with 62 and T with 2 and then multiply. So our distance is 62 times 2, or our distance is 124 miles. So LaShonda traveled 124 miles. We can check this by reversing the process. We'll divide the 124 miles by the 2 hours that it took her, and that does in fact give us 62 miles per hour. And so our check tells us that our distance of 124 miles is correct. We're going to evaluate the following expression. 2n to the third minus 3p squared when n is negative 2 and p is negative 3. We begin by substituting in for the values of the variables. And then use order of operations to solve. So we'll eliminate our exponents first. Negative 2 to the third power is negative 8. And negative 3 to the second power is 9. Now use multiplication. 2 times negative 8 is negative 16. And negative 3 times 9 is negative 27. And finally, negative 16 minus 27 is negative 43. Identify the coefficient and degree of negative y to the fourth power. Our coefficient is an unseen negative 1, and the degree is 4. Indicate whether 4x to the third minus 9 is a monomial, binomial, trinomial, or has no special name. It's a binomial because it has 2 terms. Simplify and write the resulting polynomial in descending order of degree. We have 10a to the fourth plus 3a squared minus 5a plus 2a squared plus 5a minus 11a to the fourth. We'll start by combining like terms, putting them in descending order. Now, 10 minus 11 gives me a negative a to the fourth. 3 plus 2 gives me a plus 5a squared, and the negative 5a plus 5a will give me 0a. So the answer is negative a to the fourth plus 5a squared. Add and write the resulting polynomial in descending order of degree. We have 2y to the third minus 8y plus 5 plus 3y to the third minus 2y minus 9. We'll start by collecting like terms. And now we'll combine like terms. 2 plus 3 gives me a 5y to the third. A negative 8 and negative 2 give me a negative 10y. And a plus 5 minus 9 gives me a negative 4. So the resulting polynomial is 5y to the third minus 10y minus 4.